If you're over 60 and still eating these four types of seafood, you could be unknowingly poisoning your body every single time you sit down for what you think is a healthy meal. Here's a shocking truth that the seafood industry doesn't want you to know. Not all fish is created equal. In fact, some of the most popular seafood choices are silently destroying your heart, clogging your arteries, and accelerating aging in ways that could take years off your life. But here's what's even more disturbing. Many of these dangerous seafoods are being marketed specifically to seniors as heart-healthy options. You've been lied to. Today, I'm going to expose the four worst seafoods that are masquerading as healthy choices, and more importantly, I'm going to share with you the four powerful seafood alternatives that can actually reverse damage, protect your heart, and add vibrant years to your life. This isn't just about avoiding bad food. This is about transforming your health after 60. By the end of this video, you'll never walk through the seafood section of your grocery store the same way again. You'll know exactly which choices are slowly killing you and which ones are your fountain of youth. So if you care about your heart, your brain, and your longevity, you need to hear every word of what I'm about to share with you. The four worst seafoods you must avoid. Worst seafood number 1, farm-raised salmon. This is the biggest lie in the seafood industry, and it's probably sitting in your freezer right now. Farm-raised salmon is marketed as a healthy, affordable alternative to wild salmon. But here's what they don't tell you. Farm-raised salmon contains up to 10 times more toxic chemicals than wild salmon. We're talking about PCBs, dioxins, and pesticides that accumulate in your tissues and cause inflammation throughout your body. But the real kicker? Farm-raised salmon is dyed pink. That beautiful salmon color you associate with health? It's artificial. These fish are naturally gray because they're fed a completely unnatural diet of corn, soy, and chemical pellets. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in farm-raised salmon is completely backwards. Instead of reducing inflammation like wild salmon does, farm-raised salmon actually increases inflammation in your body. It's like taking an anti-inflammatory pill and a pro-inflammatory pill at the same time. Let me tell you about Harold, 67, from Seattle. Harold thought he was being smart by eating farm-raised salmon 3 times a week for his heart health. After 2 years, his cholesterol levels were actually worse, his joint pain had increased, and he was experiencing brain fog that he couldn't explain. When Harold switched to wild-caught salmon, within 3 months his inflammation markers dropped by 40%, his brain fog cleared, and his cardiologist was amazed at his improvement. Never buy salmon that doesn't specifically say wild-caught on the label. If it just says Atlantic salmon, it's farmed. If it's suspiciously cheap, it's farmed. Real wild salmon costs more, but it's worth every penny for your health. Worst seafood number 2, king mackerel. King mackerel is one of the most mercury-contaminated fish in the ocean, and if you're over 60, your body has a much harder time detoxifying heavy metals than it did when you were younger. Mercury doesn't just leave your body. It accumulates in your brain, your nervous system, and your organs. For seniors, mercury poisoning can mimic or worsen symptoms of dementia, cause memory problems, and lead to coordination issues that could result in dangerous falls. The FDA actually warns pregnant women and children to avoid king mackerel entirely, but they don't give the same warning to seniors, even though your detoxification systems are just as compromised. King mackerel is often sold as just mackerel in restaurants and grocery stores, so you might be eating it without even knowing it. It's commonly used in fish tacos, fish sandwiches, and prepared seafood salads. Dorothy, 64, from Florida, was eating king mackerel twice a week because her doctor told her to eat more fish. She started experiencing hand tremors, memory lapses, and balance problems. Her family was worried about early Alzheimer's. It took 6 months after stopping king mackerel for Dorothy's symptoms to improve. Her doctor was shocked when they tested her mercury levels. They were off the charts. Always ask what type of mackerel you're buying. Atlantic mackerel and Spanish mackerel are much safer options with lower mercury levels. Worst seafood number 3, imported shrimp. 90% of the shrimp sold in America comes from overseas, and what you don't know about imported shrimp could be destroying your health. Imported shrimp, especially from Southeast Asia, is raised in polluted waters with antibiotics, chemicals, and preservatives that are banned in the United States. These shrimp farms are often located next to sewage treatment plants and industrial facilities. The chemicals used to preserve imported shrimp during shipping include sulfites that can cause severe allergic reactions, especially in seniors who may have developed new sensitivities over the years. Some imported shrimp contains 4-hexylresorcinol, a chemical that's also used in tire rubber. But here's the worst part. Imported shrimp is often processed in facilities with poor sanitation standards. The rate of bacterial contamination in imported shrimp is 10 times higher than domestic shrimp. George, 71, from Texas, loved shrimp cocktail and was eating imported shrimp several times a week. He started having severe digestive issues, skin rashes, and respiratory problems that his doctors couldn't explain. When George switched to domestic wild-caught shrimp, all of his symptoms disappeared within 2 weeks. He discovered he wasn't allergic to shrimp. He was reacting to all the chemicals and contaminants in the imported variety. Only buy shrimp that's labeled as wild-caught from American waters, or at minimum, look for shrimp from Canada or other countries with strict food safety standards. If you're starting to realize you might have been eating some of these dangerous seafoods, write the number 1 in the comments below. It's important to know you're not alone. Millions of seniors have been misled about seafood safety. Worst seafood number 4, canned tuna. This one is going to shock you because canned tuna is considered a staple healthy food, especially for seniors on a budget. The problem with canned tuna isn't just mercury, although that's a major concern. The bigger issue is that most canned tuna contains BPA in the can lining, and BPA exposure has been linked to heart disease, diabetes, and hormone disruption, all of which become more dangerous as you age. But here's what's really disturbing. The tuna industry uses different mercury standards for different types of tuna. Albacore tuna, white tuna, contains 3 times more mercury than chunk light tuna. But many seniors don't know this and choose albacore because they think it's higher quality. The frequency recommendation for tuna consumption assumes you're eating other low-mercury fish to balance it out. But many seniors eat tuna as their primary fish source, which can lead to dangerous mercury accumulation over time. Canned tuna is also heavily processed and often contains added sodium levels that can be dangerous for seniors with high blood pressure or heart conditions. Agnes, 69, from Ohio, was eating a tuna sandwich every day for lunch because she thought it was healthy and convenient. Over 2 years, she developed numbness in her hands, memory problems, and her blood pressure became difficult to control. When Agnes eliminated canned tuna and switched to other protein sources, her symptoms gradually improved, and her blood pressure became much easier to manage with medication. If you must eat canned tuna, limit it to once per week maximum, choose chunk light over albacore, and look for brands that use BPA-free cans. The 4 best seafoods you must eat. Best seafood number 1, wild-caught Alaskan salmon. This is the gold standard of healthy seafood, and if you're over 60, it should be your number 1 choice for brain and heart health. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon contains the perfect ratio of omega-3 fatty acids that your aging body desperately needs. These omega-3s reduce inflammation, protect your brain from cognitive decline, and keep your arteries flexible and clear. But here's what makes Alaskan salmon special. It's caught in some of the cleanest, coldest waters on Earth. The fish are naturally pink from eating krill and other marine life, and they contain astaxanthin, a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from aging. Wild Alaskan salmon also contains high levels of vitamin D, which becomes critically important after 60 when your body's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight decreases significantly. The protein in wild salmon is complete, meaning it contains all the amino acids your body needs to maintain muscle mass as you age. This is crucial for preventing sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss that can lead to frailty and falls. Robert, 68, from Alaska, has been eating wild-caught salmon twice a week for 15 years. At his last physical, his doctor said he has the cardiovascular health of a man 20 years younger. His cholesterol levels are perfect, his blood pressure is normal, and his cognitive function tests are in the top 10% for his age group. Look for salmon labeled Wild Alaskan, Wild Pacific, or specific species like Wild Coho or Wild Sockeye. Frozen wild salmon is just as nutritious as fresh and often more affordable. Best seafood number 2, sardines. If there's one superfood that seniors are ignoring, it's sardines. These tiny fish are nutritional powerhouses that can transform your health in ways that will amaze you. Sardines are at the bottom of the food chain, which means they contain virtually no mercury or other toxins. They're also one of the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, containing even more per-serving than salmon. But here's what makes sardines special for seniors. They're one of the best sources of calcium because you eat the soft bones. One can of sardines contains more calcium than a glass of milk, and it's in a form your body can actually absorb and use. Sardines are also loaded with vitamin B12, which is crucial for seniors because B12 deficiency becomes more common with age and can cause fatigue, memory problems, and nerve damage. The CoQ10 sardines supports heart health and energy production at the cellular level. Many seniors are deficient in CoQ10, especially if they're taking statin medications. Maria, 66, from California, was suffering from chronic fatigue and had been told her bone density was declining rapidly. She was resistant to eating sardines because of the smell and appearance. Her daughter convinced her to try sardines mashed into avocado with lemon juice. Within 6 weeks, Maria's energy levels improved dramatically, and her follow-up bone scan showed the first improvement in density she'd had in years. Start with high-quality sardines packed in olive oil or water. Avoid sardines in soybean oil or with added sugars. Try mashing them with avocado, adding them to salads, or eating them on whole grain crackers. Best seafood number 3, wild-caught mackerel, Atlantic or Spanish. Not to be confused with the dangerous king mackerel we discussed earlier, Atlantic and Spanish mackerel are among the healthiest fish you can eat after 60. These smaller mackerel species are rich in omega-3s, but low in mercury because of their size and position in the food chain. They're also one of the most affordable sources of high-quality marine protein. Wild-caught mackerel contains high levels of selenium, a mineral that's crucial for thyroid function and immune system health. Many seniors are deficient in selenium, which can contribute to fatigue and increase susceptibility to infections. The vitamin D content in mackerel is exceptionally high, higher than most other fish. This is critical for seniors because vitamin D deficiency is linked to increased risk of falls, fractures, and immune system problems. Mackerel also contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds that can help reduce joint pain and stiffness that many seniors experience. James, 72, from Maine, was experiencing increasing joint stiffness and had low energy levels. His doctor found he was severely deficient in vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids. James started eating Atlantic mackerel twice a week, grilled with herbs and lemon. Within 2 months, his vitamin D levels normalized, his joint stiffness decreased significantly, and he had more energy than he'd felt in years. Look for Atlantic mackerel or Spanish mackerel. Avoid king mackerel or any mackerel that doesn't specify the type. Fresh mackerel should be eaten quickly, but canned mackerel is also an excellent option. If you're starting to see how these healthy seafood choices could transform your health, write the number 2 in the comments. I want to know how many of you are ready to make these powerful changes. Best seafood number 4, wild-caught Pacific cod. Pacific cod is the perfect whitefish for seniors who want clean protein without the risks associated with many other whitefish options. Wild-caught Pacific cod is sustainably harvested from clean Pacific waters and contains virtually no mercury. It's an excellent source of lean protein that's easy to digest, making it perfect for seniors who may have digestive sensitivities. But what makes Pacific cod special is its high content of phosphorus, which works with calcium to build and maintain strong bones. Many seniors focus on calcium but ignore phosphorus, which is equally important for bone health. Pacific cod is also rich in niacin, vitamin B3, which supports cardiovascular health and helps maintain healthy cholesterol levels. Niacin becomes more important with age as your body's ability to produce it naturally decreases. The mild flavor and flaky texture of Pacific cod make it versatile and appealing even to seniors who don't typically enjoy fish. It absorbs flavors well and can be prepared in many different ways. Pacific cod is also one of the most affordable, healthy fish options, making it accessible for seniors on fixed incomes who still want to prioritize their health. Eleanor, 74, from Oregon, needed to increase her protein intake, but was struggling with digestion issues that made many foods difficult to tolerate. Red meat was too heavy, and chicken often upset her stomach. Eleanor started eating Pacific cod 3 times a week, baked with herbs or in fish soup. Not only did she tolerate it perfectly, but her muscle mass stabilized, her energy improved, and her digestive issues decreased significantly. Look specifically for wild-caught Pacific cod or Alaskan cod. Avoid Atlantic cod, which is often farm-raised or caught in less pristine waters. Frozen Pacific cod is excellent and often more affordable than fresh. Let's summarize what we've learned today. You now know the 4 worst seafoods that could be damaging your health. Farm-raised salmon, inflammatory and full of toxins; king mackerel, dangerously high in mercury; imported shrimp, contaminated with chemicals and bacteria; canned tuna, high mercury and BPA exposure. And you know the 4 best seafoods that can transform your health after 60. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon, the ultimate brain and heart food. Sardines, calcium and omega-3 powerhouse. Wild-caught Atlantic or Spanish mackerel, affordable nutrition. Wild-caught Pacific cod, clean digestible protein. But here's the truth. Harold didn't reverse his inflammation by just knowing about wild salmon. Dorothy didn't eliminate her mercury poisoning by learning about king mackerel. Maria didn't rebuild her bone density by understanding sardines. They all took action. Your health after 60 depends on the choices you make every single day. Every time you choose wild-caught salmon over farm-raised, every time you pick sardines over imported shrimp, every time you select Pacific cod over canned tuna, you're choosing vitality over decline. The seafood industry is counting on you staying confused and misinformed. They profit when you buy the cheap, contaminated options. But you now have the knowledge to make choices that will protect your heart, preserve your brain function, and add healthy years to your life. Your future self is depending on the decisions you make today. Will you continue eating seafood that's slowly poisoning your body? Or will you choose the foods that will keep you strong, sharp, and vibrant well into your golden years? If this video has opened your eyes to the truth about seafood and you're ready to make these life-changing switches, write transformed in the comments and tell me which healthy seafood you're most excited to try. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I share crucial health information for people over 50 every week, and I don't want you to miss a single video that could save your life. Remember, it's never too late to start making choices that will transform your health. Your best years can still be ahead of you,